So here's what I'm going to do. Probably got about a half a dozen brief clips, and I'm going to just start with one of them and just point a couple of very obvious things out. And for every obvious thing that I point out, I have no doubt that you, being better rested and more just in tune and balanced, for everything I point out, you'll be able to point out five. But let's dive in and
It was said that it was blasphemous and it was making him too close to Jesus Christ. The post did come down. I don't think the post ever should have been created, period. Let's go to the root of the problem here. Not by a person, not by a pastor or a political figure. That post should have never been created. It was created by AI, all right? It was created by AI. In fact, in the word Antichrist is the word AI. So if you want to know where the root of the spirit of Antichrist is, it's in AI is one of the roots. And this is where this image was birthed out of, and this all began.
okay. We're going to skim over the top. I'm not going to go in depth, but just point out some obvious things. So what's being talked about is a very controversial picture that was posted, I don't know where first originally, but then reposted by President Trump, and evidently it made him look like Jesus. And there was a big controversy. I wasn't paying any attention to it. Actually, didn't hardly even know about it until I went to this video, because I don't spend a whole lot of time in regular kind of media. But I just want to point a couple of things out. First of all, no, Amanda, we'll get to whether it was appropriate for the president to repost it or not. It was a really dumb, boneheaded move. Why don't people that love him and are close to him say, Mr. President, that was really stupid. You need to get it down. Leaders and presidents need people close to them that will say, no, don't do this. But I digress. But it was not created by AI. And I'm just going to say, we have unlocked the glass case and carefully lifted a word out of the vernacular cabinet and put it into the common use vernacular a couple of weeks ago. And that word is, and you have to use it carefully and advisedly. So we're going to use that word carefully and advisedly right now. Amanda, that was a very stupid line of thought that you tried to float. It's very, very stupid. AI, Amanda, does not create anything. If somebody created that picture with AI, it's because they used it and told it by means of, well, it could have been, they could have spoken to it. Yeah, that can happen. But a person that used a tool to create. And so I just felt, oh my gosh, this is kind of similar to what Amanda is talking about. And folks, I assure you, AI did not create this image that some would say kind of looks like Jesus, healing power in her hands. I superimposed the Trump face on there and the Amanda face on there. But give me a break, Amanda. AI did not create that. And by the way, I challenge directly, and Amanda, I'm saying this in love, but please quit treating people like they are stupid. I don't like that. So please stop it. All right, Amanda, I dare you, darling, look in the camera and tell the nation that neither you or anybody on your staff or anybody that works closely with you doesn't use any AI. Please do that. Please assure us that nobody uses Chat GPT, Notebook LM, Gemini, Grok. There's a whole bunch of them out there. And by the way, if you have an iPhone and you say, hey, Siri, that is an early form of artificial intelligence. And please don't tell us that artificial intelligence created anything. And then she goes into this thing that AI is in the word Antichrist. I'll tell you where else AI shows up. It shows up in Ark of Grace Ministries. There's an A in there a couple of times and an I in there at least. That's just complete foolishness. We're going to keep moving. It's just completely ridiculous. Look, why don't you just say it was really stupid of the president to echo that and just be done with it and quit making excuses, but blaming it on AI created it so we know where it came from. That's probably the reason that we're spending. And I got to hurry because I do not want there to be a food shortage. Okay, so now we're going to go to video number next. Now, this is reaching back a ways, but I already know there will be some that see this and only 8 minutes into the program, they will be mad at me. How dare you? This is Amanda Grace. How I get, especially on the Rumble channel, are you, how dare you speak against the Lord's prophets? I'm just going to play you a brief clip that is available from a Drew Bloom video that was created 5 years ago. Here we go. I think here we go. Let's go.
Governor of California will have to step down, but what has been done in the dark will be exposed concerning his public and personal affairs. And it will be that last bit of weight that buckles the entire condemned bridge that he helped destabilize along with his band of cohorts scattered across the state. And then I heard, watch Alaska. Watch Alaska.
Now, I will do a famous Ohio for Freedom backupism because the audio was a little hard to grab, but this was from a video that Amanda did on the 18th of January in 2020, and you will clearly hear her say the governor of California will have to step down. Here we go.
The governor of California will have to step down.
Okay. Drew Bloom did an excellent job on that video, and I will tell you that it's the 19th of April in 2026. The governor of California did not step down. He was handsomely reelected. I don't like the governor of California. He's screaming liberal and all of that stuff. But and he'll be termed out in the fall. I guess he could be forced to step down in the next few months. We'll see. But that word that the governor of California will step down, that ain't come to pass. Not even remotely close has it come to pass. And so that's Amanda Grace. But lest you think that was a one-off, we're going to go here from the same video.
Hollow shells, those at the helm that the enemy is using to speak empty words and promises full of deceit to the people. The Lord has anointed the leader for the next 4 years. I, the Lord.
Now, let me pause this right now. Is there any question as to what Amanda is talking about here?
Okay. I wanted to keep this moving along. After this program, I am going to put the link to this particular video. But folks, Amanda Grace very, very, very clearly, not ambiguously, very clearly said that Donald Trump would be in office in 2020, would win the 2020 election.
All right. Is there any question as to what she's prophesying here?
Now watch this.
We all know who was
Listen very
trying
carefully.
to steal the election, right? I don't think there's any question here whatsoever.
I, the Lord, say and decree this day that darkness shall not prevail, all caps. There shall be a price, a heavy price for their plots, their spells, their conjurings, their manipulations, their deviations. And I, the Lord, say the miraculous shall occur before the American people. You will see commentators stunned. You will see those who plotted speechless as all their attempts to steal and change votes fail, because they shall now meet a standard by the name, all caps, of Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of the living, one true, mighty, all-powerful God.
Now, she just said that all the attempts of the enemy to steal the votes, we're not going to go back over, and the audio is a little tough. It's a little cleaner if you watch the video directly, but there's a transcript, folks. So you can say, well, Donald Trump won, but it was stolen. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. But Amanda prophesied even further that their attempts to steal the election would fail. So she was wrong. That was a false prophecy. She prophesied it big and out there in bold. No, wrong. So the governor didn't step down. Donald Trump it was stolen. That wasn't overcome, and he wasn't reelected. Joe Biden was sworn in. Okay, period. Well, you just don't know how prophecy works. Yeah, I actually do know how prophecy works. When you prophesy something, it's supposed to be real, it's supposed to come true. Okay, now this here, this was from this last Friday. This clip, I'm going to invest the most time in, probably about 3 minutes total. I will stop. I'll try not to do a famous Ohio backupism if I can avoid it. But there's just so much here. She's going to talk about Mount Hermon and throw out so many things that are like, good grief. Let's get the good grief train rolling. Here we go.
I want to go back to Mount Hermon for a minute, because part of this, the security buffer zone, they're calling it, goes along the entire Lebanese border up to Mount Hermon. That's the first thing that's mentioned. Why is that significant? Mount Hermon is crucial in this.
So she's going to talk about Mount Hermon, and she just read Mount Hermon from like a news release. And guess what? If you're talking about Israel, sooner or later, Mount Hermon's going to come up. Why? Because Mount Hermon is in Israel. But now it's like she's going to just start throwing out like what she would consider to be prophetic, like prophetic mud, and just seeing how much mud she can sling on the wall and what's going to stick. Because honestly, folks, and this is sad, it's going to get embarrassingly ridiculous. Here we go.
And I'm going to tell you why. Mount Hermon is where about 200 angels called watchers made a pact to have relations with earthly women, and the Nephilim were birthed. The plot of the Nephilim was birthed on Mount Hermon.
Now, whatever your view of Genesis 6, whatever your view on the book of Hermon, can I tell you, or a book of Enoch, which he's going to talk about, the Nephilim and 200 angels ain't got nothing to do with what's going on in the Middle East right now. This ain't about Enoch, and it ain't about the Nephilim, and but just hang on, it's going to get crazy. Folks, if you'd like to support the program, yeah, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Absolutely, we're going to keep doing. You can go to ohioforfreedom.com, and we have a PayPal link, a bank card link, a Zelle link. We really so thankful and so much appreciate your support. That's how we continue to do what we do. We do have a P.O. Box, P.O. Box 344, Mason, Ohio 45040. Don't hate anybody, love everybody, but folks, we're not going to be snowed and won over by this PR stunt. And actually, AI is not the Antichrist. And I'll say it one more time, Amanda. You really going to look us in the eye and say you or nobody on your team uses any AI? I don't think so. Good night, y'all. I hear the sweet sound of freedom.